Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Lifting. Today's episode is being recorded on 11/13/25. We're here with Sonia Galactic Fire today, and we're going to be discussing her t-shirt line and her product and merch line today. But before we get to any of that, I now open this circle to true benevolence and no conflicting agendas as of this moment in time. So, Joanna?
We are all one, and when one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, that only the highest good be done. We pray for you, your friends, your family, your loved ones, to let healing energies in. Let them love you, let them nourish you, and let them bring you to your highest good. We ask for benevolence now with no conflicting agenda to come in now so that we may have this conversation in great understanding. And we ask for malevolent or mischievous type beings to be swept away now so that we may have this conversation in peace. And with that, and with great blessings that we always send your way, we say, so be it.
And so be it. So today, this is actually going to be a very interesting conversation. Sonia and I have been designing different types of merch for both the Galactic Interversal Consortium, excuse me, and the lifting. And I'm actually wearing one of these now. You can't see the back of this one, but I'll show it on the website here in a little while. This one has Neptune on the back of it, or Poseidon on the back of it, and it turned out really awesome. I've been wearing this one out in public quite a bit, and I do notice that just like with the energy t-shirts, this one does have a clearing factor because of the sigil and also because of the iconography on the back. It's a beach, feels like you can feel almost like a energetic tide on the back. We also have the new healing and energetic cleansing t-shirts as well on the website. So, Sonia, I'm just going to give the floor to you if you want to tell everybody who you are and all that you do.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm Sonia Galactic. I design t-shirts as well as tattoo. And I've got all kinds of t-shirts that I've come up with over the years. I mean, it's been maybe 5 years I've been kind of going at this a little bit, and I've got a lot more t-shirts planned, but all of the t-shirts kind of have a like a mind expanding element to them where it's more offers more than just your everyday average consciousness would carry, like at the workplace or out at the grocery store or wherever, to kind of get people's kind of minds questioning maybe, well, what's that about? And they're all, of course, benevolent. Some of them are kind of jokey. We got to have humor. Humor really raises the vibration. So it's kind of like that. Acquire, inspire, and vibe higher is kind of my little logo there for that. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be a t-shirt as well. So, yeah.
It should.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's actually pretty interesting. We started this quite some time back. We met Sonia in Phoenix at the Phoenix Psychic Fair some years ago, and at first, when you show first when you contact me, I'm going, wait a minute, I almost remember this person. You show me the Darth Vader head. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
so and then I recognized you when I saw you. I'm like, oh okay, yeah, yeah. But yeah, this is she makes the t-shirts designs for the Disclosure Now movement, which a lot of theirs have come out really good. Actually considering doing conspiracy sector next because that's an area that needs it too. But this
Mhm.
is actually pretty cool. Actually, I'm gonna get on here real fast. That'd be helpful if I shared screen. Okay. I will show people how to find this. And this is, of course, the lifting website. And then if people go here, where you see Galactic Fire t-shirts, and it leads you right here. And this is the lifting and the Galactic Interversal Consortium's site here. These are the actual protection clearing t-shirts. This one's the one of the Valiant Thor t-shirts. It's actually pretty cool. I got some stickers made up with these designs as well, and it actually works like the Sasquatch ones do, whereas it makes it so that Valiant Thor and his group can have a bit of sovereignty in that particular area wherever you put that. And this basically brings in that Venusian energy in with the Galactic
Cool.
Universal Consortium. This is the black and white one. This one's my favorite of the two because of the old 50s black and white and look. I like that one. This one is the Neptune one, the one I'm wearing, or I should say Poseidon, the real name. And this is the one. This one here on the right is the one that I'm wearing right here. And this is the Christmas one, the Christmas equivalent one with the mermaid and him wearing the Santa hat and the lights. I thought this was actually really cool. And sorry, Bjorn, but this had to be done because you are now Bjorn Holio. So henceforth you're a Bjorn Holio. And you're immortalized on a t-shirt. You did not know this before you just saw this, but now you have seen it. So this I worked on one night with Photoshop and an AI, and it came out looking like this. So yeah, this actually was actually pretty funny.
That's cool. I
Yeah,
like it.
and this one's of the ladies, Elena and Vessa, the visitors from Lanulos Design. Love this design. Have one of these in the closet. This is actually pretty cool. And the Christmas equivalent is right here. Yes, there's ones with boobies, no boobies, but okay, people just have to get over that. Some people, sorry if you're complaining, but I don't care. So this is actually really cool. I love the Christmassy design here. So if people want these for Christmas, now is the time to get these because this well they'll be here all the time, but still the season's coming up here. So and the one for Poseidon right here. All came out awesome. I actually got the idea for this design. We were out to eat at a Mexican place one night, and I couldn't quite visualize how I wanted to see the Poseidon one. I'm like, okay. I walked around, and at this Mexican place, I see they did this shirt. I'm like, oh, that would be it. Yeah, all right. And so this is similar to one that we saw at a Mexican place around here, but this is far better. I like the way this came out far better than their version. But this turned out pretty cool. So I will get off share screen actually because it's galactechfire.com/thelifting, one word. So
Yep.
I'm off of there. All right, Joanna, did you want?
The only thing I wanted to say is just to contribute to why are there semi-naked ladies t-shirts. So again, if anybody has listened to us in the past, we talk about Lanulos, which is a society that there is quite a bit of nudity and accepted, not gross, part of their society. Everyone's cool. And so the ladies themselves, wanted to at least bring into the conversation that sometimes living a nudist type life is done in simplicity and not in any sort of sexist kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
So many people probably want to know, how do I feel about that? I am completely unbothered by it.
On camera.
No. Let me specify.
Yeah.
I am completely unbothered by it. I am in the medical field. I have seen plenty of naked humans. None of us look alike unless you've had plastic surgery. That's when people start looking alike. Other than that, everybody's body, believe it or not, is a little bit different. I am completely not offended. I do, though, recognize that is for a lot of society, it is an uncomfortable problem because it's not been done in a way that isn't let's just say potentially harmful, sexualized, or women being harsh on women and, about not having the most perfect body and things like that. So I get the sensitivity to our culture. So I was pro boobies and not boobies being on those t-shirts because of the respect that although that community there doesn't have a problem with it, we have to be respectful and mindful of where people in our society are, and it still brings up some unpleasantness and uncomfortableness, and so we want to be mindful of that, which is why we have both. But personally, I am not offended by nudity, but I appreciate Chris and the others listening to me and deciding to do a version of both to be mindful of it. So
I got to thinking this would have been the perfect conversation for Isaac. He is not around.
Right.
So this would,
Right.
so unfortunately. But yeah, this is the original drawing right here that I got done years ago. And this one was the original drawing that inspired the new ones.
Yeah. But I am glad that both versions were done again, because our society hasn't advanced to the point of where they are with this whole concept. So what you basically are showing are, again, the respectfulness. And as everybody should be realizing by now, as they see women's attire and yoga pants that have been now looking more like fitted bike pants that used to be only bike pants when you were bikers, that, believe it or not, clothes are starting to turn into that more form-fitting, stretchy material. So we're heading there, guys, as far as, changing our styles to more of that form-fitting, what you see on there. So don't just get offended. Look around. Things are starting to change here, and stretchy, fitted, comfortable materials are where we're heading, folks.
Yeah, I call the galactic version of that. Isaac called it a onesie, and everybody's like, it's not a onesie. It's nano
It'd have
fiber.
feet. If it was a onesie, it'd have the little feet.
Yeah. Well, actually, some of them do. Those are the ones that he was making fun of. But these are a nanofiber that actually you can literally touch it and change the color, touch it and remove it. This is why insider Clifford Stone, when he said he saw the aliens had that fiber on them, they couldn't find a zipper. They couldn't find a way to remove it because it's a nanofiber that either separates or comes together. The robe is something similar. The robe is one of them, is one of the biggest things out there too, galactic wise, and the onesie, or that one piece uniform that you see in a lot of channelings and everything. Those are the two biggest ones out there, and they can make it turn into anything they want. Hair too. It's like in Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda, where you see the Becca Valentine have hair change color, where she just taps it or shakes it and it changes to purple from That's an actual thing they showed. The trans characters that had purple skin, she goes, can you change it to purple? And she went like that, and it switched. And
wow,
clothes. That's exactly Roddenberry had it correct in that. So but that's those outfits are that way. They don't actually have a zipper in the front unless they tell the nanofiber to do that. Otherwise they just go. Or if, like Isaac brought up in a previous show, if you wanted to play a practical joke on somebody and you had their biometric signature, you go doot and do it to them. So he said it's a funny practical joke if somebody's busy. And I found that hilarious. When he said, I could see in my head what he was talking about, but it was, they all kind of wear that for the most part if they're in the Galactic Federation. The robe thing, it's just a preference with who uses what, but that version is more practical where it's form-fitting. That's why you saw it in Star Trek with 7 of 9, and some of those at the Starfleet, some of the Starfleet uniforms were that way too. It's very similar because Roddenberry got it from the real thing. Found that interesting.
I was hoping maybe you could go into a little bit more of your inspiration of adding these, I guess you would want to call them either energetic, inspirational, thought-provoking types of pieces to your artwork on the shirts. What inspired you to do that? How did you start thinking that you're like, I want to add something more?
Well, actually, it's kind of how it all started. And this was back in 2016, really, when I started getting these ideas. And they were just like coming in like crazy. They still do when I let that kind of thing happen. I've been kind of turned off from that a little bit lately. That's one reason I was like, oh my God, an interview about my t-shirts. I have to get back in the mode. But yeah, I mean, because that was when there was a lot of things coming out back then about the corruption going on everywhere, like as far as in politics and all kinds of stuff like that goes. So, and I actually in my IRL vicinity I was seeing the different, because I would just want to share information that I had learned from somewhere or ideas I had, that epiphanied or whatever with my customers. And this was when I was tattooing in Fairfield, California. And at a shop there, Heaven or Hell Tattoo. It's kind of funny, but in any case, so I would mention things like, ascension or disclosure, and people would immediately go into this one response. They always came back with, well, you can't change my mind about anything. And I'm like, well, I was just kind of saying, hey, how's it going? And so it was, I didn't know what was happening at first, but then I finally realized, wow, these people are obviously programming is coming out, because how would they know to say the same thing? It doesn't make any sense other than they've been programmed, obviously through TV and various other ways, I'm sure. But so I started getting, I started wanting to put up posters in my booth, disclosure is near, or just things like that. Or I had learned about the archonic influence back then too. So I was trying to get into making people aware of these other things, or just look into them, or, and kind of try and break through that programming, which is a lot easier now than it used to be. It's just different now. I guess you could say it's a different thing now. But so I thought, well, I've always loved t-shirts. When I had my tattoo shop in Phoenix here, I used to screen print my own tattoo shop t-shirts. So I always kind of wanted to put more t-shirts in there, but I never knew how or what. And so I just said, you know what, I'm just going to start a website and I'm going to sell these ideas I have. And they just came pouring in. I've got notebooks actually full of different ideas. It's crazy. But yeah, and then you got to, it took me a while to learn WordPress. So that was a couple of years process itself, because I didn't have any money to spend on this type of thing. It was super on the side kind of thing, I guess. And it's actually due to my lovely daughter, who is assisting me with financially and things like that. I'm able to kind of focus on this now kind of 100%. To where I don't have to worry so much about, my priority isn't getting up and going to work at this time and doing this at this time. I have more freedom now. So that's why I've recently expanded and started to include guest spot stores for other people, because there's so many podcasts that I appreciate so much. And, a lot of times, depending on how big they are, you don't really get a lot of interaction or are able to talk to them and things. And I'm sure you guys know, a lot of times when you're watching something, at least for me, I connect so much that I want to be like, hey, how's it going? And I want to say hi. And if you can't do that so much, then I just started kind of coming up with these designs for their podcasts that showed how much I appreciated them and how much they were appreciated by the community for what they're bringing to the table. And I mean, it's kind of, TV is mind control. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but yeah, this is one of them. No. And TV's kind of pretty much gone away. I've been meeting more and more people that don't watch TV, or, and they're proud of it. I don't watch TV. And I'm like, well, that's fantastic, but it's like YouTube and all the social media type sites right now they're kind of taking the television's place kind of thing. So of course, you guys probably, I think, have done a couple of shows about this type of thing, but yeah, so that kind of grew. And then I did Rob shirts, because I've been watching Rob for a long time. And then Chris was like, hey, and I'm like, oh, Chris, I remember you. That's just so awesome. So I really appreciate you guys' interaction and being able to help you get your t-shirts out there for sure. Absolutely. So if anybody wants assistance with doing t-shirts, or if they even have a design that they would like to add to my website, we could totally do that. Or I could assist with the designs, or if you already have one like the Bjorn, you already had that going. So I just threw it on the t-shirt. But if it needs to be changed, or even if you don't have a design at all and you just have some ideas, I could totally help with that as well, for sure.
So t-shirts are a great way to get people to look at something that is completely non-threatening, that can plant a seed that maybe they'll think about later. So I think one of the things that we've tried to stress to people is that, even in the disclosure movement, it will not be healthy for you or anyone for you to feel like you have to proselytize and to get out there and force everybody. It's not going to work that way. but to be able to, put thoughts in people's minds, to have them, just go hum. And again, in order to create, that organic unity, whether you know who each other are or not, you just want to, again, smile, say hi, wear your t-shirt. Don't be, just be greeting and non-threatening, but they can leave an important mark.
Mhm.
And it, or like for I know what, Chris, when you and others design some of the work that you do want an energetics coming off of
Yeah.
it. And so,
Right.
and so the goal is to just being out there in the community, wearing some of these things. There's not another thing in the world you necessarily need to do. You just are there and present, and it slowly starts to make, a difference with the energies. And
Yep.
or we have had people notice and make comments and say something, for even a small time. So people do take notice of this and or feel it and or feel you're more approachable, non-threat. And
Mhm.
that actually is huge, because we're going to advance ourselves not just by having a disclosure community meeting and conferences, and because that's not the bulk of the population of the earth. You're going to make huge differences just by going out into society, being amongst people, being friendly, being inviting,
Mhm.
wanting a unity. And this is a great way to go out there with something that could give people pause for thought and or evoke a conversation. And so, I don't think people realize until right now how much thought is put into some of these creations in order to gently forward conversations, bring out positive energies. And it's really not a little deal, but it doesn't have to be spoken about. So the
Mhm.
people that are watching us may find it interesting, again, that, these attempts are trying to go on, but not with all this fanfare, because you do want the collective consciousness of all people, whether they know anything about this or not, to be a part of something that advances us all in a positive way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one more point on that. What I like to say is that when you're having that particular idea, or that vibe, or the energetics of whatever the t-shirt says that you are resonating with or that you've chosen, that lifts you up during the day. Because sometimes when you're going through your monotonous work schedule, or whatever you're doing with your errands and things, you kind of get, it's possible to get kind of downtrodden a little bit by some of the negativity going on. But this also empowers the wearer to stay in a higher vibe, and like almost assist the mission, I guess you could say. And how I say it is, be heard without saying a word, kind of
Well,
thing.
yeah, we would say what it is. It's actually you in another way being your genuine, authentic self.
Yep.
This is my belief system. This is my energies. And I'm not going to try to beat you over the head with it or try to convert you. But I think because it allows you to say, this is a representative, of who I am or how I feel.
Yep.
And
It
I'm
gets around cognitive dissonance that way as well.
exactly. So I
Uh-huh.
really think, I appreciate this conversation so much, because, it's, yeah, it's nice to sell the t-shirts. It's nice to be able to make a living, but there's way more to the thought behind all of it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yep,
And
that's
so,
right.
people need to, consider that, and then consider, in their way, if some of these t-shirts or whatever help them make, feel like they can go out and it represents more of who they are, and they help with awareness quietly by doing it. It's a great thing to think about doing. So,
Mhm. Yeah, and also I would suggest what's really big right now are challenge coins as well, doing designs for challenge coins. And I didn't think of this route before now. And these can be powerful anchors for not only communication but clearing. And this type of thing's been done for centuries, like with religious medals and things of that nature. They would imprint things on metals, coins, all that. But I've noticed recently with this stickers, I was doing that with this for quite some time. But with stamping it on metal or carving into metal, wow, that actually has a real impact. And the shirts are armor as well. But if you have like a metal hanging around your neck, or if you have a way to make a challenge coin, that's where I would make a suggestion to you, is that route as well, because is like taking the internet by storm at the moment. Is the challenge coin area. So I stumbled across this recently, and I've noticed that it has an enormous impact if you make even one. This is one of the bigger things that's actually taking on memes at the moment, believe it or not, are challenge coins. And those are a form of a meme. So just like the things on the shirt, the designs on the shirts, you can make memes that way too. So combining all these together seems to work incredibly well. I've noticed. I've been observing the pattern for a little bit, and that seems to be the route that all this is going. They're combining memes with like the shirts, giving it meaning, and then giving it another form. So
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
seems to be
Cool.
transmuting into those forms. So the energy is.
Yeah.
So
I haven't heard of that. That's interesting.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
so many printing companies for these coins,
Hmm.
and they just take a blank and either stamp it in or have a computer etch it in there, and it does a really
Wow.
excellent job. Some do stickers, others do metal. This is like, of course, you see these on eBay. These silver coins, and they'll do silver ones too, but like that. But at the same time, you can get those made too. But at the same time, the emblem on that would be a really powerful protection piece. But I've noticed that these seem to all be interchangeable, from memes to creative ideas to statements to T-shirts to challenge coins. Seem to all be kind of symbiotic at the moment. But yeah, I thought that's actually very interesting. I was not expecting that pattern, but it's one that I happened to recently look into. So that's really interesting. I don't know if you want to go over what you did.
Does anybody want to join us for this conversation?
First, I thought it was going to be Elena and Vesa, but one of them may channel here in a moment. But and the heat's going up in her. All right. Okay, I was not expecting the Belodians to step in actually this time. So interesting. I thought it was going to be Elena or Vesa or both. But yeah, whew. Dang, they're coming in so strong. It's making make me sweat.
No,
Okay.
it's definitely getting hotter in
Okay,
here, which
yeah,
is
the
interesting.
heat's going up in here. I can feel it.
Yeah.
All right. That's actually making me sweat a little bit, but okay. All right, who is our visitor? I just want to reconfirm. Okay. Mm, all right. All right, I will just go into this and he can talk about himself. Okay. Through the crystal. Okay. Greetings. My name and rank is Sava Bena. I am of the Velodian medical group of ETs. I am actually transmitting to you currently from a spaceship in high orbit. I and my brethren see the value, excuse, interruption. I see the value in presenting different galactic groups, emblems, and their purpose as well. I had encountered them physically recently. Believe it or not, I do walk around in public from time to time here on Earth in just regular clothes. But what is interesting, a service that could be done to the galactic community is you show their visage and then you have it up for sale. One of our people walks around in it, and voila, we are advertising ourselves without actually saying a word. Let's just say it's shameless self-promotion, if you could say that. But in this, also, a purpose behind, say, a t-shirt with, say, the Velodian medical emblem on it, would then give the person the ability, walking around in it, people around would see this, and those energetic codes would then transfer to others that had a medical need that we couldn't possibly get to them in that particular moment in time because there'd be too big of a cluster of people or too many would recognize that a galactic was around. One is different. Two is okay, but a whole crowd, no. Normally we would not care, but your self-appointed ruling aristocracy seems to care. It was up to me, I'd be walking up to everybody. But it turns out that I've walked up to them recently. Yeah,
Is it okay to share the story?
Go right ahead.
So, okay, so let's share this story. And again, I think one of the things, Sonia, if Chris hasn't already spoken to you about it, that he's going to speak to you, because actually just what he's talking about, some of the things that have been developed before to work with you to develop, of course, of the different races and different beings and different positive, benevolent energies or things they wish to also bring through, which is what you're talking about with the Pelodian group. But we had an interesting thing happen, and we do have, every now and then, we have some really interesting things happen to us. So Chris had kind of put out a challenge, being a bit frustrated. We've had moments in our lives, and I have personally had moments in my life where I know I am standing next to and having an interaction with somebody not of this world. Now, could they be of another introversial place or dimension? Sure, but they're not of this surface earth world. There is no way it can be. They know it. I know it. So, you can't take away some of your personal experiences that you have had. So Chris and I have both had some of those experiences all on our own at different times. One of the times, it's been I think a bit of a challenging and frustrating time for a lot of people. The energies in these last month have been really strenuous on people. And, you can get a little frustrated and like, hey, you guys remember us down here? Any help, any, whatever. And during some of the frustration times, Chris gets very frustrated and will want to have some sort of interaction. I hate to say it, but every now and then it's like you need something to happen so you don't lose the faith. You know what I mean? You just need it to happen. So we were actually at a local store, basically, and we had done some shopping to pick up some things from the home. We were getting up, and Chris happened to be wearing a t-shirt, and it was a joking t-shirt saying, with an alien on there basically saying, looks like there's no intelligent life here, right, on Earth. And it was just kind of a comical shirt. Well, we were literally getting in line to go check out, and this particular person, came up to Chris, was pointing basically at his t-shirt, and saying, hey, what do you mean there's no intelligent life? Well, the interesting thing about this conversation was what we do. One of the things, again, we're doing is we're watching Deep Space Nine, the Star Trek-y thing that we're watching, and their leader that's involved in that, as well as we were literally just trying to go to the Outer Banks. I'd wanted to show Chris the Wright Memorial, and it happened to be closed because the federal things were shut down, but we were just there. And so, this guy decided to have a conversation. Chris could sense right off that you are not from here, energetically, and could sense that he was out beyond the firmament and beyond the different things. But the guy had a quick conversation with him, and Chris, and he decided to introduce himself, and he introduced himself as Ben. Was that right, Ben?
Dr. Benjamin Wright.
Dr. Benjamin Wright. So Benjamin is the name of Benjamin Sisko on Deep Space Nine. Her first name is Ben, and we were just trying to go see the Wright Memorial. So he introduced himself as a doctor, Valodian, Benjamin Wright, in the middle of a store, had a brief little moment again, and then quickly went around the corner to leave. But Chris knew at that moment in time that, your energies are not of here. And of course, Benjamin, as in Benjamin Sisko, and Wright as the Wright brothers, and Doctor as Valodian, because he had been challenging them to make themselves a little known. This actually happened to us here just a few days ago. And so it was kind of I guess for us, it was kind of a bit of a boost, a needed boost, because of some of the hard times. And so I must say, talking to you now, that we both acknowledge the big risk that you took to do that, because that is a no. You don't do it.
Yes, he insisted on somebody being like Benjamin Sisko, taking risks and bending rules. Yeah, there's a time for that. Most of the time not, but there is a time for that. And you forgot one glaring synchronicity each time you've told this story.
What?
A couple few weeks prior to that, you ran into another Benjamin at your roadhouse, actually, that was talking Star Trek with you.
Yes, absolutely. He kept coming up to our table. He was a server, and he kept coming. Ben 1. It wasn't just Ben, it was Ben 1. And I wanted to ask him specifically, why is your name tag Ben 1? And I didn't get a chance to, but this gentleman kept coming up to our table to continue to have conversation with us, not doing it for anyone else. It was actually very enjoyable. It was one of those moments where you're like, I hope you don't get in trouble, but I'm enjoying the heck out of our conversation. And so you're correct. That happened as well.
Yeah, so it actually started then. That was not me physically, but it was in Ben, in name only, you see. So Benna is my actual name. So, or A or 1, you see, first letter, first number, you see. So that was actually saying my name just in with a number code. So my actual one. And Sava means lieutenant in your language, from a non-Terran language. So what the reason being is because there are times that he is correct, that camaraderie is necessary. We're all social creatures by nature, and we wish to interact with one another constantly. Well, not constantly, and not with everybody, I suppose. But there are a few questionables out there that they tend to be mean and smell funny. So yeah. Anyway, and I'm in medical, and I'm saying that. But talking about some of the bugs and lizard people. But anyway, I can get away with that through channeling. In my profession, I can't exactly say somebody stinks, but I can through him, though. But with this, though, there is a fair amount of interference. Give me a moment. I will get to the point then. Other than what I've said, putting the how can I put it? Grounded to Midgard, or to the Earth's version of our symbology and work out there. It follows the as above, so is below doctrine and axiom, or magic, the basis for all magic, you see, and dimensional layers upon layers upon layers, and galactic layers upon layers upon layers, and multiversal layers upon layers upon layers. But with this, it actually grounds that. Imagine people seeing that symbol on the shirt, and the symbol is a straight line with a circle That is the emblem of the Velodian medical group. And sometimes the Star Trek-y triangle is behind it. This is where your Roddenberry got a lot of these symbols from, was the Galactic Federation. Now, do we have some political twerps among us? Yes, we do. Some that would much rather see the Earth closed off forever. Others that would rather mine things in secret. He even found out, talking to a friend of his earlier today, that the reason he's seeing some of these military groups start to withdraw and earth some of these factions, where some of them, he was talking about one where one was a group was abducting a friend of his, and then they couldn't after a while, and were using bed bugs to actually gain genetic material, some mechanical ones. And he nicknamed that faction the Bed Bug faction, which we all found hilarious, by the way, with that, because now they have been stamped that in their file, believe it or not. So that humor like that down here does influence up there, I must say, and we found that hilarious, deeply hilarious, because they deserved it. But some of that mining of resources or farming off people is actually starting to come to a close because certain contracts are coming to a close. I'm not going to make predictions for y'all, but I am just saying that certain contracts, certain things are actually coming to a head. If some groups violate these things after the thing is ended, they don't get to have another one, or if they violate a certain rule that they don't have a branch or bracket treaty for, then of course they are going away for a while. Some get severely pissed off and attempt to genocide people. I'm putting that lightly. Some will get that hate-filled because the rules are changing here. They don't want this to open up because they want a cash cow of resources and want to hide like a thief in the night, or like something that goes bump in the night, and that's just plain stupid. I'm just saying. But even under regular circumstances. But making gear that has all of this on it, even if it's of a fictional medium, like say Star Trek, or if it's an actor or actress, or if it's a made-up character from a game or something, and you combine this with symbology, this holds power. This holds worth. This holds fun. This holds passion. This holds magic. Any art is magic. Any passion is magic, but certain things, even again, if it's a fictional character, even of an actor or actress, things of this nature, it will carry this forward. I hope I was able to make it clear enough.
Well, true. And Sonia is so inspired by all this. And when she started doing this in 2016, was just so full of thoughts and ideas. Obviously, to me, you can confirm this from your perspective if you want, that it really just seems something, a gift that she was meant to come in and help inspire people with.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I fully agree with that assessment. This was part of the reason why you have come through to do these things, this particular art. There are species out there that cover themselves in tattoos as well, I wish to add, because there are some races that are very tribal-like in nature. Your ancient Mayans that went out into the Pleiades, they have the tribal tattoos like your Commander Chakotay and your Star Trek Voyager. There is also a blue-looking species that looks native too, just like you saw in your Star Trek Voyager that were supposed to be the ancestors of the native peoples. In your Voyager series, are the sky gods type, or the sky deities? There are some that are like that, that actually looked like that, and they also are part human as well. There are also blue humans as well. That's why you saw it in your Vedic texts. Ones that are underground and some that are out there. There are that. So do either one of you have questions for me?
Do you have any questions, Sonia? Oh, I think you're on mute.
Thank you. I got the kids running around, my grandkid running around here. They don't know I'm on a show, so I had to kind of, anyway, so yeah, all that stuff that you're talking about makes perfect sense to me. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, and I kind of wanted to add a little bit about the galactic fire thing. I had thought of it when you were talking. The reason why I even went galactic fire thing was because I used to listen to Rion D. Rowan of Team Light, who's in Sedona. I'm not sure if he went to the last conference, but in any case, and he used to always say, "Bring in the galactic fire." And there was a time shortly after that when I started developing the T-shirts, where I was kind of pondering what is my mission here? What am I supposed to be doing? And I just it came like thunder, you know how it happens, and it was just like, oh, I gotta go with the galactic fire because it's like what's coming in from like a different realm. It's not so much from here. I mean, there's some concepts that humans can barely understand. They can barely grasp the edge of it, you know. So I'm trying to bridge that gap and bring in concepts that lead to that in that direction of a expanded, you know, consciousness to where you can kind of get away from so much duality. Like one of my t-shirts is truality, not duality kind of thing, and duality is crossed out. So, and that's a silly one. I came up with that one a long time ago, but things like that to where it just makes you go, what is she talking about? You know, or what are they talking? What does your shirt mean? You know, kind of thing. So yeah. So as far as questions go, gosh, you know, I mean, I'm just grooving with you, bro.
Yeah. So yes, that is actually quite the point. Grooving with all of us, we're wanting to make it so that it seems like we're all your bros or sisters, things of this nature. He always cites that damn Mountain Dew commercial with all the ETs that were in that were just drinking Mountain Dew. We're your bros. We were not the ones that came up with that. There was another group that actually came up with that. They look like iguanas actually, but they actually would fit more your street personality types, like the hey yo, that type like that. They would
Yep.
fit. They are a type of iguana that literally has this neck beard that comes down to here, down to the center of their chest. It looks like they have a necklace, but they don't. And they're green and yellow and orange. They're kind of like a bearded dragon, and they're actually presented on that Mountain Dew commercial. They show them on there wearing street clothes. So they would totally wear the t-shirts and things of that nature. Even though the Galactics have the nanofiber, they've noticed humans have made unique styles and unique things over the decades, and it's fusions of different galactic cultures, like your bell bottoms, for instance. It's your U.S. Navy is credited for having those, so that you get pants off even if they're wet, kind of thing. It's actually the Mosen, or the ones you call the Mosen of Cassiopeia, that came up with those. The same thing with the helmet from World War One, and different types of guns and weapons you have in your culture after Adolf Hitler summoned the Draco and the Aldebaran Nordics and the all-annoying princes of the universe back in the 40s, when the Mosen had to assist the United States and Great Britain. What ended up happening was they did minor advancements, like they showed in your Doctor Who, where the Doctor minorly advances a plane or something in some fashion, corrects some flaws. There's only so much human tech could have been advanced at that time, but they wanted to make sure that the Nazis at least got a kick to the nutsack, pretty much. But and that they did not want another Nazi culture out in the cosmos. They'd already dealt with a couple of them. Of the Orions, but there's at least a couple others. But should say three total. But with this though, the things like those commercials, also the cats, somebody played a joke on them by showing them in kitty litter commercials and stuff like that. Those are actually sight gags when you see things like this. And also certain species in Star Trek, when they make them look stupid or exaggerated, they're making fun of somebody. Like your Packlets, they're making them look retarded or mentally handicapped because that particular species are dicks. But the Ferengi, aside from the interplanetary corporate conglomerate being your own homegrown FCA or Ferengi Commerce Authority, The close second would be an alien race that they actually based the rules of acquisition off of, and also ICC as well. But only they have smaller lobes and they have a smooth top of their head and they're bald. But only in Star Trek they made them slightly wider and bigger ears. And those were, he likes to say that's why they made the ears the erogenous zones because they were calling them dickheads. So, so not without their humor. However, we give the finger to those that called us organ harvesters, such as the Vidians in Voyager. We made our own statement by showing Earth politics and Earth finances were driving the medical industry later on in another episode. I know the dorky version of a retaliation for something that was horrid. We were fused with the face peelers of Peru, and they called them Vidian. That was a middle finger to us by another group that got tired of being made fun of. So they made us look horrible. Even though there is a group that uses some of our medical technology to do the face harvesting, those guys are not too long for this world. Doesn't mean they're being put to death. It just means they're being removed. They're actually in violation of several contracts. They're pirates. So at any rate, just like some of your organ harvesting groups medically on the planet. But anyway, back into something light-filled, the shirts and the artwork. This is where it's at the moment. You're going to find that there's going to be other races wanting their, say, in meme form or shirt form or what have you. They're looking for the flavor of the month to be able to get their messages out. You don't have to listen to all of them. Some of them, want to gloat or bloviate or poke at another group or something, just like you do with your political cartoonage. Don't always listen to those. That you don't need the loud, galactic, annoying galactic Senate in meme form on your shirts. You already have your own homegrown version of it. You don't need the galactic Senate screaming at each other in advertisements on Earth. They already do enough of that on their own planet. So just like your parliament where they shout at each other all the time. So that you don't actually need that here. What is needed is creativity.
So you bring that up, and she brought up something earlier that I thought maybe you could give your perspective to, because what Sonia said earlier about herself, I think is a common feeling that a lot of people have been having about not feeling like in the beginning so inspired with so many thoughts and so many creativities, but feeling like somehow right now that's dulled down in her. So it's like wondering, what's happened to me? Am I losing it? Am I losing inspiration? And what's going on? I'm glad
neurotransmitter depletion.
Well, I'm glad she said that, because in my humble opinion, I've heard a lot of people say that. Like I think we would always say, again, I'm not trying to lead in any way your response to this, but what we've seen is that, we humans have been kind of like that frog in the pot being slowly turned up, and that's what's been going on, and kind of hitting a moment where we really are kind of, the energies have been so rough, things have been so rough that people are kind of pushed down a little bit. But if I heard you correctly, what it sounded like is that some of that was going to start easing up, and people were going to start to refill their purpose, their creativities to come back. But I just was hoping maybe you could address that, because, as again, Sonia is one of many people, inclusive of us, that has felt this, in this, probably within this last year, really started to feel it.
Yes, the volume, unfortunately, has been turned up on some of this oppression of late. It's actually quite at dangerous levels in some areas, and also there's a lot of dangerous things going on in space right now. I won't go into the nitty-gritty details for legal reasons out there. I have been told that there's certain things I can't say at the moment by certain political arms, but at this point in time, just know it's as above, so is below. It's not necessarily the mystical version that's out there, but this is what's needed. Earth is a creative nexus. Earth is being suppressed for a reason. Back in the day, I will say, it was seeded for a reason. You are in a what would be almost like a ley line intersection of this part of the universe. And there are others, but Earth is unique in the fact that it's multiple cultures that culminated in one. Like your South Park episode said, all the cultures came here and brought pieces of their own land. Disclosure in that part of the media. But when you do something here, it really echoes out there. Why do you think some of the bad guys put dampeners in ages ago? To keep this planet from echoing out into the cosmos. That's what some of your asshole races did back in the day. That's where you get the stories of Enlil saying that the noise of humanity was too great. There was a truth to that, because think of if you were if you had a megaphone in front of you. This is what it sounds like from Earth to out there. Even though I'm talking from a spaceship, if you were on the Earth and you were trying to get a hold of, say, Paradisia, for instance, our home planet, you'd be able to dial that, because it jumps to the psionic signal, goes through what Star Trek calls subspace. Even though we have a different word for it, it's more of a not a substrate. What's the term I'm looking for? There's no English equivalent word other than the fact that it's not like a corridor or a strip or a ribbon.
Etheric hymen?
Hmm?
Etheric hymen?
Yes, exactly. Very much like that. Yes. This with a sound strip type of thing, and this is exactly how this transmits. You also have psionic enhancers on the Earth as well. These psionic dampeners can be turned into psionic enhancers. Hajamal, I believe, talked about this in another episode as well. You were on The World of Sasquatch, and he was talking about how these things could be deconstructed and or shut off. About how to turn them into a singularity state versus a non-binary-esque type state, quantum state. By just giving them an identity. But Earth is unique because you have greater access to the multiverse as well here. Where even though you do shift timelines 1,000 times a second, on Earth it can be felt more. Believe it or not, there are other nexus points in the galaxy. There's also the Bifrost, which is rebuilding itself. That is essentially also a dimensional nexus that your Odin had constructed back further back than 500,000 years ago. That was just when the system collapsed at that point. But do you have questions for me?
So I guess what you're saying is that, it's understandable if people are feeling this way right now.
Yes.
And if you need to rest, because it really has been rough. It really
Yes,
has
learn
been.
how to feel again. Learn how to how can I put this? Ground in that creative moment. I know for warrior races, this is very difficult. Especially if you have that type of background. But also on the flip side, do what gives you joy and passion. I know amidst all of this crap that is going on right now, and if that is the warrior side, so be it. You've seen it comically in movies where those they were getting into the bored type of life and mediocrity, and they couldn't handle it, kind of thing. That was a joke based on this, but get into whatever it is that allows, as your Bruce Lee said, allows the warrior to have a home. The warrior must have a home. So have that passion incorporated in. If you need to be amongst people, do it. If not, so be it. But do make sure that you are grounded and honoring that thyself at all times in that respect. Even if it means a relaxation period that it may seem like it is how can I put it, boring death at times for some people, but that is equally as important as actually constantly being on the move with what you love to do as well.
Right. And as you were first saying,
Decompression, you call it.
Yeah, the decompression, but to understand that people in general, the stress has been so great that a lot of people's neurotransmitters are on these depletion.
Microwaves are also what's doing it, yes.
Right. So just, I think, no one likes it. I can just say, Sonia, that this is like such a common feeling right now amongst everybody. So it's
You're not alone when it comes to the not knowing what direction to take. There's
right.
millions that are feeling this way.
Exactly. It's kind of a common thread right now. And the goal is just to take a moment, take a breath, feel from your heart, wait a minute, this is all this is. This is just a moment. This is just a rest. And then be able to, get yourself back out there and don't believe that strong passion and excitement that was there before won't be back again.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I find it helps me if I just write. If I just write what I'm feeling, what I'm sensing, and maybe take and put and realign my priorities, even though I've done it 50,000 times, it's kind of a reminder. And then you get to, when you think about things like that, or at least for me, I become more in touch with, the universe, I guess you could say, or the original inspiration for these ideas and things like that I am always connected to. Obviously, I think we all are, and there again with the last over 5 years, but the last 5 years especially. There's been a lot of weird stuff going on with the way I'm pretty strong normally as far as minded goes, spirit goes, but I've noticed some weird stuff go on. I'm like, wow, if it's hitting me like this, I know it's probably hitting some regular folk even more, or people that maybe aren't so conscious of their own mind or things like that. So, and I did have a question while I have the horn here. I thought of one while you were talking. And I've wondered this for many, many years. And it has to do with ears, and ears came up earlier. And those folks who have ears that just kind of connect right into their face, just kind of, there's no lobe kind of thing going on. Is there a difference, do you think, or can you see that if in those folks that have that and those folks that just have lobes, kind of thing?
Yes. This is a galactic trait. I mean, of course, humanity is a mix of galactic traits, but this is a very specific galactic trait that, let's see if I can, there's actually a couple of them that this happened with. Most of the humans are also some of this is unique with the bobbed ears. There's a lot of pointy ears out there like Spock, but with where the lobe melts into the head, that trait actually came from originally the what's the name of the solar system? Not necessarily, and it's not a Pleiadian type trait. There's a mix of people that you would say like an Arcturian type of group, but they're also a mix of these grayish, bluish, white and whitish elf look types that have these ears that some are pointed, some are not, that are actually fused into the skull. Some of that is one of them. Then there is actually a kind of like almost like a fairy elfish type that actually has the same thing that are related to some of these groups. Also, some mer also have that trait as well. Some that are on the high seas, like a pirate, you see. So
Interesting.
some have some of this as well. So now Poseidon doesn't necessarily have this because he's Asgardian, but some of his other people out there that have some of the fish traits. Some of the fish people have the lobes embedded in. Some of the mermaids have that as well. So this is why I guess he was inspired to put the mermaid on the shirt as well, because some of that ends up there. Some of the Tuatha De Danann, and also some of the Lanyalosian traits are like this as well. It got intermixed, but the majority of the people that have this are water related.
Very interesting. Thank you. Appreciate that perspective. Absolutely.
The red hair is also an Atlantean trait as well. And red hair that is you have also Valiant Thor's people had this as well, but also you have some elfish, fairyish type as well that is mixed in there too. So,
Interesting. Anything else, Sonia?
Um, there's plenty of stuff, but it's kind of off topic, so I'll just kind of get at you guys later about that.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think what's really key here right now is, as we were saying, is it really is a time for people, the way they'll pull themselves up out of their bootstrap is to remember some sort of passion or some
Yep.
sort of creativity to help them. As you said earlier, a lot more people are realizing they need to turn off the TV and they need to, not pay attention to some of that right now. And
Mhm.
what you said earlier, Sonia, it's the one thing that we've been trying to say. When you're in the midst of it, and if you know that energetic, let's say, suppression bubble is there, you feel it's only aiming towards you, but it's aiming towards every person who's living on this earth. And so you're right, which is why I like, again, the concept of what you're doing, to being able to, show things and be your genuine, authentic self with wearing creations or wearing energetic creations, or starting to, bring out some of these other groups in an easy, non-threatening, simplistic, joyful way, in order to get people thinking, to maybe inspire them to get out of their funk, let's just say.
Yeah, lighting the inner fire, kind of, that's another galactic fire thing, is like trying to reignite the spark that is trying to, or that is being messed with, in this by frequencies and things in this particular plane here. So,
Mhm.
Exactly.
yep.
Lighting the galactic fire pilot light.
Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah.
So that this yeah, so it's fully approved as grounding the galactic fire like that, because as above so is below, and it interchanges, and the collision course that humanity has with the galactic community is inevitable.
Well, it sounds,
Yeah.
it's needing a little, if you needed a little of inspiration, I hope both you and Chris are, with this conversation, are realizing, oh my gosh, there is so much for us to get out there. You know what I mean, with this thought. So hopefully that will help inspire both of them
Hmm.
to be able to, get those creative juices going, knowing that they really are meaningful. They truly are meaningful.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm embarking on this trip here, and this is what I'm going to be focusing on from here on out. I'm setting sail, so to speak,
Mhm.
on just focusing on maybe going to conferences and definitely creating more t-shirts, and revamping the website, and just kind of focusing on anything that has to do with that. Because as far as like what you were talking about earlier, Joanne, as far as like advertising or things like that to promote it, and I've just never really been into that, like, because I'm not a Google girl, kind of thing, and I'm not really into corruption. So it's more of an organic thing for me, like word of mouth, really. I mean, sure, I'll try something here or there. I just haven't put any effort towards that direction. I've just been, meeting people where they're at, kind of like how I met you guys.
Hmm. Yes, it has to be someone's wheelhouse for, like, the say the social media interaction and things of
A
this nature.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're actually the same way. I
Mm.
mean, we really are too. We would say we are pretty much, dumb in all those other areas, but we're not feeling like we need to get out there and do that. We just want to have these genuine, real, authentic relationships with people, kind of in a like-mindedness of the importance of what we're all doing and to support each other. So absolutely, we're kind of the same way with that.
Hmm. And we also, I wish to say at this time that we're trying to help assist bring Earth back into the galactic fold. It was lost to us ages ago, being out amongst with us. You are on the outer rim of the galaxy. And given what happened, the brutality from one war after another, and one galactic let's just say pirate after another, and not even just mentioning the Orion, the ones you call the Orions, from a dark universe type of thing. Oh, no, no, no. There's been multiple other things that you don't know about, but it's coming to a head. And again, you are on literally a frequency collision course, but to being reset back into the galactic fold. And this is a day we look forward to in the end.
Well, good. Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming in and talking with us. Any last questions you have, Sonia?
Not that I can think of. Thank you so much. I appreciate your participation and voluntariness and love and kindness and just being who you are, really, you know?
Oh, excuse, Lane and Vessa wish to say one word.
Ah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. They are poking me in the side. Give me a moment. Which one of you? Yeah, okay. Yes, Benna is a bit long-winded, so I will. He likes to talk usually about his trade and himself, and the fact that he actually has a what's the term I'm thinking of? Affinity for human clothing. Now, Lanyelosians don't have to worry about such things, but while that is a bit of a joke, we actually do wear clothes when it's cold. We're not exactly immune to getting our nips frozen. So just a bit of a reminder that warmer weather then means naked. Okay. Would you go out in below zero weather with nothing on? No. But as Elena was saying in a past show here when she was talking to you, he here has compared Lanulos to a mix of Beta Z and Risa on Star Trek. Okay, I will go with that one. But it's both, you could say. And she said, are people perceiving it as a pleasure planet? Yes, and one could say we're more open that way, of course. But that's also the culture. And also the fact, I want to tell you something with the t-shirt design. I'll tell you a bit of the magic that's there. And also you can do it in coin form, organo piece form, any of these, paper, anyway. When that is presented, I know people are, of course, hypersexualizing it, and we are perfectly okay with that. It's just some humans that wouldn't be. Where we have been far removed from some of those, I don't want to say prejudices, but triggers. So a trigger for us would be more of a violent response from people. Like we've tried to interact with people here before, and we've gotten violent responses before, like what was said in Woodrow Derenberger's work, Visitors from Lonulus. But in this, like when Injured Cold was talking to him. But I wish to say is that it is presenting us for us, and with that, it is actually transmitting the fact that what we do is okay amidst all your other controversies that are going on currently. Now, probably our timing wasn't the greatest, but still, as all of you like to say, it is all in divine timing. I suppose now was the time to actually show ourselves how we are. Now, we say we come to Earth, you're not going to see us walking around that way right away. It is more or less we're trying to tell your culture it's okay to do that and be more transparent that way. Some of your cultures took that and ran with it. Other ones had a bit of Orion bastardization to it, where they got kind of cultish about it. And kind of they erased the sexuality from it, or had some weird Amish like stigma surrounding it to where you shun and stuff like that if you have any sexuality attached to it. No, we do not approve of any of these differences. That again, people went their own way with it, but in the end, we also have some of us do non-monogamous marriages as well. Some of your people with religious folk, some of them would frown on it. Now, did the other group that formed the Mormon group, the Carvan people that Moroni is part of, did they also integrate that their marriage customs into the Mormon religion? Yes, they did. That's why you had the non-monogamous relationships. But humans then took this, and other galactic cultures and other dimensional demigods got involved and started to screw that up a little bit and make it kind of cultish. The same goes with your S religion. I will not say the name for your benefits, but back to happier things. This is why we presented ourselves that way, because of that overt energetic transmission, and we were just being our authentic selves. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Which really, in a sense, is no problem. But I think, as we've talked about before, in order to maintain the positive light of which you guys are trying to present, it has to be done in the context of understanding where a lot of humans are, and I hate to say it, with a lot of trauma and negative things attached.
Yes.
And so it takes time to
Yeah,
build, to grow out of those kinds of things. And
especially if there's sexual trauma and there, yeah, of course.
Yeah, sure.
I am curious, again, maybe you can be inspiring, what if you were here walking around on Christmas in a snow-filled place, what would you be wearing?
Now, this it would probably be the common jumpsuit. You can take the nanofiber and turn that into a shield, but more than likely wearing what other people are to keep warm. A version of it.
Would you wear like a coat?
Yes.
So I find that interesting because, again, Chris wanted to, show imagery like a festive one for you guys. And so, again, instead of walking around or whatever, you would kind of, what my vision is for you guys is seeing you at a ski lodge wearing the really big, coat, but kind of the tight fitting pants and stuff like that. And
that's a great idea.
Really festive and stuff like that. More kind of what I would say is the cool girls hanging out at the ski lodge kind
Yeah.
of.
We have not.
I like that.
Came to my mind. So I'm glad you said that, because again, you never know. We can find some inspiration on Christmas, Christmas in Colorado with Yolanialosians and getting an idea of what that would look like.
Now, is there another route that can be taken where there is this invisible fiber where you can be nude in cold weather? Yes. So you can.
Yeah, baby.
That has been developed. So
how do we explain that on a T-shirt, though?
Yes, invisible clothing, the king's new clothes. Yes.
Right.
Yes, you can do that. Of course, you'd explain on the clothing by showing exactly what it is.
Transparent lines, maybe.
Transparent everything. I'm wearing this. Sure, you are. It doesn't even look like you're wearing anything. That's right. It's supposed to be a transparent deal, but I say transparent, or it's not. It's more of a how can I put it? Not cellophane-ish. It's more.
It probably has a shimmer of something.
There's a shimmer to it that if like we were on a snowy cliff or something, you would just see this and this kind of a shimmer, a weird shimmer. So it's not completely invisible. So this is why it is being actually worked on. Your secret space program has something like that for some of its super soldiers, to where they were attempting to take some alien tech and try it out on some of their female operatives, and it turned out to be rather creepy. But our version of it has a shimmer. Let's just say your Japanese culture will take to this one, because it's fitting more to their anime-ish type of look. Their artistic style. But the point is, it's almost no point, because from a distance you would just see a shimmer. Also, there's also armor that shimmers too, and we have been mistaken. Also, the Tuatha De Danann and those of Tirnanog, which is Lanulos, have been mistaken for being shining ones. That's what Tuatha De Danann means. It's actually that type of armor. Or it looks like you're sparkling, kind of like your Twilight vampires and that old thing. There are no vampires that sparkle, by the way. They got that kind of thing, that shimmer, from what I was talking about. An armor, a transparent armor, but also armor-ish look. The robes, everything, they can make them shimmer. like that. It just looks like from the edge of it, like something's glowing, like you have a weird glow fiber in there, like you'd see at a rave party, but against the skin. That's where they got it from, and they assumed that some of our ancestors were shimmering and glowing. And it was really the technology. Sometimes it's the aura. Sometimes you'll get like an interdimensional aura, or a piece of technology that can pull you into a different dimension. It looks like you're turning into an orb or something like that. You're going into a spaceship like the Forest people do in the little bigger on the inside orbs like the TARDIS. Or some can transmute and move from a corporeal to a non-corporeal state, and things of this nature. So this is also what is going on. Do you have any further questions for me?
No, I find this whole thing interesting. Do you, Sonia?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just kind of wanted to add to what you were talking about earlier about the different styles of t-shirts, the nude ones versus the non-nude ones. And in my personal experience, I have gotten more of my male friends to pay attention to what I'm doing, where otherwise they'd be like, oh, that's nice. But they're like, wait, what are you doing over here? Oh, what's that about? You know what I mean? So it does serve that kind of
Yeah.
aspect of
And
it.
it
So,
does, and it builds a bridge because the
yes.
galactic community actually likes to select females a lot because people are kinder usually.
Yes, usually. Yeah.
And like your Billy Meyer had that happen where some of his Pleiadian friends were operating that way around him. So it's essentially the same thing. And he even said that beings would put an implant in the home so that they could come in as a hologram. And that actually works, and that's good for contact, but also showing the culture ahead of time. Like basically, it's ahead of the game, instead of ahead or ahead of the curve, you would say. So that's exactly what is going on in this case. And myself, I tend to cling to more of the street look. If I were there, you'd see me in like the street clothes and kind of thing. Where I tend to the one of the people that tend to walk up to me are more the not street folk or street walkers or anything like that. It's more homeless. It's more like those that are in the on the street or in that culture, you see. Those are the ones that would probably gravitate towards me first if I was walking around in public. Just like in your Transformers movie where you saw the different Transformer robots from Cybertron, they were adapting different human culture traits. Like one was like more of the black street type talk and stuff like that. And one character was asking, Shia LaBeouf's character was asking why he talked like that. It's because he had an affinity for that style. And it was more of a form of a communication, a bridge. Just like the Mountain Dew aliens, the bearded dragon types, they like that style. So they are gravitating towards that and hoping you don't look at them and go, what's that? So that's why they're doing that. And that's why they're having human-looking cultures come first, ahead of everybody else. But they're still trying to get you to encode and decode the other types as well. And hoping that you don't, people do not freak out. So just know that there's a lot of more like you out there, but when people accept a greater diversity of faces out there. So I don't have anything else. If you have nothing for me.
No, thank you. Appreciate the conversation.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yes, I wanted to get my voice in because Benna serves on the same ship we do. And he wanted to get his voice in, but he's a little long-winded. He likes to really talk about his profession, like people that go to conventions and talk about the same thing over and over. Yeah, he likes that. He's more in the ship in the bottle type, let's just put it that way. He's one of our doctors that he doesn't always, shut up. So, but I will now. So, I wanted to poke at him a little bit. We've known him a while. He's good. So, I will depart now. So, thank you. Oh. All right. Yeah, she was starting to get a little of a push from something out here because she was mentioning how the t-shirts work and what their purpose was and everything and why they were doing what they were doing. And somebody that had a stigma for some of that, another ET culture thought it was repulsive and was trying to get her to not say it. So though there's ET cultures that are repulsed by that as well. They're like, ugh, why would you want that? There's a few out there that object to that type of interaction as well. They're basically telling me, it's like, she goes, those are the ones that basically have no genitalia. They said so, and they yes, they do, but they don't. They just say. They lack balls, I said. So, because I know they're hearing it, that's why. If I could describe them, they're more of a they have a large head, but they have like a headband, and they have hair that goes down the ground. They kind of resemble kind of a cavemanish look, but they don't have the big muscles, and and they have like this V-neck like weird beaded like looking thing going on. Weird to you, yeah. Who are you exactly? Okay. But because I was seeing this face looking at me, but they said they're harmless. They just like to listen. They don't really like to talk a whole lot. But when they do, they think they're talking. They think they have a big game going on. They said, but they don't. All right, all right. They That's that on them. They don't even have a name for their race. They said they just kind of are there. So okay. So we'll just go with that then. If I
Awesome.
find out something, I will attach this, but that's new. I don't even recognize the look. I've never interacted with them before, so all I know is they're kind of crotchety. But anyway, um, you're fine. You don't have to get uppity. All right. They're not. I'm not. I don't feel threatened by them. It's just that they don't particularly care to talk to anybody. So you're fine. We're not. We're only lightly making fun of you. Okay. My feeling was that I felt like I had to like poke at them. Part of me felt like I had to make fun of them a little bit because they're uptight. But anyway,
Right, right.
so I was getting that from them. I was getting a whiff of that from them, and my one of my other expressions or who I was out there. So, all right, I think. Do you have anything else you want to add to this
No.
one? Okay.
Thanks. This is such a great interview. I appreciate it. My first one. So you guys have made me feel very comfortable with this whole
So,
thing. So
oh,
thank you. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you guys have great ideas as well. So let's keep going,
And keep creating. Yeah, and
Yep.
I would advise that to anybody listening to this,
Hmm.
that you just keep on creating no matter what is hitting you at the moment. Whatever
Hmm.
deep depression's hitting you, that's a common thing right now. So whether it's from medication or if it's from the energies or a little both, or the TV, it's mainly that. But don't pay attention to that. It's theater. We call it the theater puppets for a reason.
Yeah.
So you can thank the Forest people, can thank CMAR for coming up with that quotable. So, all right, I think we're at a good stopping place here. Do you have anything you want to add, son?
Not so much. I mean, only just check out the t-shirts we got going on there, Chris's and all the other stores, and the ones I've made, of course. And maybe you'll find something you like. And if you don't, I'll work with you to create something if you'd like to.
And that's, I
So,
believe that's galacticfire.com. If you don't even
yep.
put the thing at the end there, I will show this one more time before we head out here. And I will show, of course, this is ours. I will go to back here, take that off, and go here. And this is the main website here. So I'll scroll down and show the different things that are
Oh,
on.
yeah. Cool.
Yeah, TV is mind control. There's that.
Hmm.
Telepathic galactic fire. Yeah, I like the mic
Hmm.
drop one there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are all these designs here of theirs. I like the graphics for these and the Star Trek-y look to that one, yeah. And spirals, those are cool.
Yep, those are the guest spots. That's the pirate radio show that you guys were actually on. That's kind of his selections there.
Mm-hmm. All right. And you have mugs now too.
Yep, yep. There's mugs available as well. Sure.
Okay, and there's the Phoenix. Let me go to Phoenix. And I know Rob's is here as well.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. There's
Yep.
Rob's. Okay.
Yep.
Now his great designs for his and there's ours.
Thank you.
So,
Yep.
so, And there we go. There's the rest of that page. So hope you guys enjoyed this show. Please go over to the website, buy a few things, please. From it doesn't matter whom, just go buy something. Okay. So keep the creative juices flowing here. So at this moment in time, I now close this circle within true benevolence and no conflicting agendas as of this moment in time. So thank you, everybody. Bye bye now.